Bonjour! Have you noticed how much French people say non compared to other cultures? Many tourists and expats are shocked by this unexpected behavior and also feel offended or surprised. Has this happened to you? I'm Giga, a French serial expat that lived the culture shock in the UK, Spain, Argentina, but also Brazil and Ireland. I now help English-speaking expats to decode the French culture and administration to thrive in France. This is the 6th video of my 30-day challenge. Your challenge is to reach 300 subscribers by April 7th. I count on you. If you do, I'll organize a nice giveaway. Check the first video up there for more information or in the description in the below section. Are you suffering or just annoyed by the French no-man culture? Let's try to understand it, and maybe you'll even end up embracing it after some time. Everything that I'm gonna say now is based on my observation and personal experience. This is a French insight on my own culture, and by comparing with other cultures, I never mean that one is better than the other. I just mean that they're different, and that's actually what I love. Difference. Most French people want to find balance in their life. Balance between their family and their love life, but also between their inner self or the time spent with their friends and their partner, and of course, their professional life and their personal life, and so on. I'm sure you do too. To get this quality of life, French culture is a culture of setting boundaries. This helps us to defend our work-life balance by saying no. Saying no, often without considering that a justification is required. For example, a shop turning down a potential client arriving at noon when the shop is about to close for the lunch break. In French people's mind, business doesn't necessarily come first. Their personal life balance does. This doesn't mean business is not important. This would be a very black and white conclusion to draw. It's just that it's not more important. This is what the French art de vivre is about. And the French lifestyle is not only during holidays in the south of France, but it's also an everyday conception of life. In big cities like Paris, this no-man culture will be even stronger, as so many things like transport, traffic, stress, are going against this quality of life. I am from Lyon, and I sometimes find this stronger Parisian attitude aggressive. But I also understand it. Learning to express yourself with the same confidence level, not being afraid to have a confrontation, will make your life easier in France. I know this can sound scary as a newcomer, especially if you're not speaking French yet. But I assure you, you'll get there. And after all, the French are not that bad. We can even be nice if you're patient and open to difference. Basically, the French work to live, we don't live to work. Or at least we try. So by taking it into consideration, it will help you manage your expectations and avoid a faux pas that may lead to a direct and sometimes rude response. You could say, okay, live to work versus work to live. But what about customer service? I agree with you here. French customer service is not as good, not to say sometimes very bad, as some other countries, especially the ones with a client is king culture. The French consider they should be respected in order to respect others, even if this means losing business. And what French considers as respect first starts by saying bonjour in French and in every single circumstance. If you want more tips on how to avoid French rudeness, check out this other video up there for more French insider tips. Again, let's not jump into extreme conclusions and say that no business in France can provide good customer service. There is. Just not a yes-mind mindset, considering the client is always right, especially when the client is really wrong. That sometimes happens. I'm sure you've received good service in France, but we usually don't remember it. Human nature tends to focus on what goes wrong and sometimes forget, for example, how nice the baker was this morning and gave a free sample of his new bread recipe, or that the hairdresser didn't charge the extra hair treatment he did. The best way to know how to interact and behave in a foreign country is first to observe and learn to know the other culture without having expectations on how things should be. I've had expectations in the past, and when I did, I was always disappointed. And that's when I managed to disconnect from my Frenchness that things started to go smoothly. It's another country. Of course, it will be different. Sometimes not as good as you expect, and sometimes better. It's the joy of expatriation. But don't you like the French lifestyle? If you choose to come to France to live or as a tourist, you may like the French lifestyle. But there are always two sides to a coin, and it helps to understand how French people think to understand these other sides, way besides the fantasized idea of France that is now more an Instagram feed or a marketing sales pitch by the lux and tourism industry. But this image is also based on the real way of life, where quality of life prevails over the rest. I hope you'll get used to this French directness. I'm myself very French in that sense, and in my opinion, the line between being direct and rude is respect. As long as there is no lack of respect, there is no rudeness. If you like this video, do give a like by clicking on the thumbs up below and subscribe to my channel to encourage me. I will do more videos about the French perspective on the French culture. Sorry for the French people. If there are any specific questions you'd like me to answer, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Merci et à bientôt.